Good evening.
Yo,
What's up, guys?
What's up? Do we say this was take two? Take two.
Take two.
Take two. All right.
Topic
Our-
two.
I don't know what topic two. Topic two?
Topic one was quashed, but
So,
that's okay.
no, it's good. It's good. Let's talk R2. We got a lot to talk about because one, RJ's been posting a ton, or Rivian and RJ have actually been posting a ton within the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
couple months even. Like you're just
Yeah.
giving us something.
Yeah,
Tidbits, yeah.
little tidbits, little morsels to hold over us Uber dorks on R2 and where they are. I think last week was the suspension and the was it 5 link suspension, which I didn't have that one pulled up because literally that one just came to mind. But the one that probably everybody was really excited to see was that.
They're calling it a silver. I thought it was more gray, but they're calling it a silver.
Yeah.
It absolutely is gray. Now, granted, it may be a very metallic gray, but I mean, maybe you could call it dark silver, but that's a gray to me. But I really like it. That's really sharp.
It is sharp. I really love the Tesla Quicksilver, but this is better. And I know I'm biased, but this is a better silver than the Quicksilver. And Quicksilver is really nice.
Yeah.
See, and I will say that this angle right here,
Sorry, let me go back.
the one that Jimmy just clicked off of conveniently. I
didn't say I was good at this.
I do get a little bit of a silver vibe from this angle. And we've already seen with the Gen 1 colors how much lighting and angle can make a difference. And especially when there is a decent amount of metal flake, it will be very cool to see this color outside in sunlight from different angles. I think it may be another one of those kind of color changers, if you will.
Yeah, like a limestone. Dune looks different, many different colors and different lights. Yeah.
It's sharp. It looks really good. I'm glad, as much as I like my white vehicles, our white vehicles. I'm glad to see that they've got something with more color in it on the road to showcase the vehicle.
They did stick within their wheelhouse of green, blue, gray.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
But they looks like, can you zoom in? It looks like they have the bright crossbars on there. Why would you do that? I don't know. With the black roof.
I dig it.
Contrast to make people notice them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think to your point that you made earlier, Chris, about this color looking better than Tesla's Quicksilver is, I think the piano black on that roof trim with more of the black cladding along the wheel wells, the lower trim pieces make that color stand out more than Tesla's does. Okay. Because pretty much the majority of the car, minus it does have gray fender wells, but every other part of that car is the gray color. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a lot of the contrast pieces that make that color stand out like it does in these photos, at least.
Yeah. Well, I think just the overall design helps the color pop a little bit more.
Yeah.
Things to note about this R2 is it has the yellow accents, which indicate it's a tri-motor, which we know does not exist in R2 yet. They're working on that Maximus motor. So we had some people on the scene yesterday, and they confirmed this is the original R2 prototype that was unveiled in Laguna Beach. So they just repainted it, but rightfully so. The white was over. I'm going to say overdone. It's been shown around long enough. This brought people's attention back to R2. Yeah, and it's identical. The old vehicle just repainted. So if you see anything that's not quite matching up to what we've seen in the bodies that RJ shared, it's because like R2 is evolved, right? This is the original prototype, so this can really just be used for, you know, paint color display, size and scale, and general aesthetics, right? You're not looking at everything here is going to be the final how it looks when you get it in your garage. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these pictures of the silver R2.
Yeah. Something else. Go ahead.
Nope. All you. I was gonna switch gears, and we may not be ready to yet.
No, I just wanted to show this real quick too. While you guys were talking, I pulled this up. If I can get there. So this was something else that hit. Look at that. It was actually perfect timing. So Jeff Hamoud, Rivian shared this with Jeff on Rivian's Instagram, and he actually asked for like opinions. Like, I mean, he made it seem like this wasn't like a finished decision as far as what the color was going to be.
Oh, they're absolutely going to sell this thing.
Oh, 100%. But the fact that they are asking for feedback this late, you know, are they fishing for, are they truly fishing for more colors, or is this their way of like building hype, or getting people excited, period? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's two things, Jimmy. The first thing is getting active engagement with the community and prospective buyers. The second thing is, man, they might be trying to kind of feed the algorithm, right? And the more comments, the hotter the post is, and the more kind of back and forth on there, the more eyes will land on it. So I feel like it's probably a bit of both.
It's the hype train, man. Get everyone on board and let's go. This is it. They've, as you kind of mentioned, they had a more recent shift in terms of aggressiveness in marketing of R2. I feel like we went almost a year from actual like unveiling in February to like February this year, where there was not a peep. Like they even tried to walk back how many reservations they had, kind of thing. They're just zero communication. And now we're trying to re-engage. They're trying to re-engage with buyers in the community, and they're going to try to pump out something every few weeks. It feels like RJ's got a new picture or a new something or other, right? And so you go down the list of things that they have to unveil still, right? So we have what else is left? Paint colors. They could do another paint color. They've shown white. That's assuming white is going to become a real color. It probably is.
It's got to.
That's
silver
default. Yeah, silver
too. And then in their wheelhouse, we're going to need a green. Or RJ mentioned something about a launch green potentially. What else? We got white, we got green, we got a blue, and we need probably what else is left? Green, black. That's their wheelhouse. They got silver, they got everything else, and maybe a red. And who knows? Maybe the Compass Yellow people get their wish and they bring back yellow. But yeah, they could do colors for a while if they really wanted to. But I think they're going to go to. I think next they'll go to features. They'll start going. They haven't done anything with the interior, right? They have not shown anything with the interior change, because they've actually cut things from the interior. They cut the flat front seats, and they have not shown how the rear wiper works. And the pop-out rear windows, they haven't done anything with that. They could do something with that. There's a lot of little accessories. They could do a whole thing on accessories. They've got a bunch of different topics they could hit over the next 6 months, let's just say.
And they absolutely should. And going back just a second to that Instagram video, I know I'm not the only one that noticed, and I don't know if this is a designer thing or not, but Jeff's outfit matched the car. Did you see that?
Yeah.
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 Sure, that was intentional. Surely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this kind of this cadence that, and whether it's a cadence or not, all the information that we have received from Rivian for the R2 takes me back to the Friday emails from 2021 from Tony. You know, like, and then smattering what Rivian did announce here and there. But yeah, I'm so ready to see more of this. Even if it's just the teaser images of like the pop, like you said, Chris, the pop out windows, or the rear window on the lift gate rolled down. You know, all of these things to get not just us as pre-order holders, but those people who are potentially on the fence about either A, going EV, or B, upgrading from another EV to buy a Rivian.
They need to be looking at like what they would market, how they'd market this thing to like an R2, RAV4, a RAV4 buyer, right? Like majority of the people that even buy Rivians, for example, don't off-road with them. They take, like me, they take them to Costco, they take them to the grocery store. They need to show like how much utility you get out of this thing in terms of just normal everyday life. Because that's what the buyer is going to be at this price point too, right? You're looking at competing with the RAV4, the CRV from Honda, and so forth. And show us like groceries in there. Show us with like car seats in there and stuff like that. That's what they need to start doing, is like showing real use cases for this product. And I get that they want to show us the colors and stuff, but we need to start getting into the real use cases soon.
The other thing that they really need to do to market, especially to the broader audience, not just EV people, is they need to say, hey, it costs this much less to fuel and maintain this compared to XYZ.
Yep.
And they need to, say, hey, there's nothing like the convenience of fueling up at home. Not only do you save money, but it makes your life easier to wake up with, plenty of fuel the next day. I mean, they need to hit some of those foundational benefits of EVs, because this is the mainstream model that can allow them to do that and capture a lot of non-EV owner buyers, right?
Yep. Like I was saying, took CRV and RAV4. They should be looking at how they market their products and see how to just replace them, and how a buyer of one of those vehicles would be much more attracted to R2. Like to your point, charging at home, no oil changes, maintenances, windshield wiper fluid, and tires, right, and wiper blades. And so, yeah, and I don't know if you try to talk about the supercharging aspect of it, or just stay away from charging on road trips altogether. But there is that's the only real negative out there is on EVs right now, is the perception that they're not good for road tripping, because you have to stop to charge for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever it is. But they get past that. Yeah,
but your family of 7 total, between kids and you guys, like there's no such thing as a 15-minute gas stop.
Absolutely not.
Like a lot of people just don't realize short stops don't exist. That's not a thing. And
For a lot of people,
yeah,
I agree.
For a lot of people, it's not a thing. Like, you go to the bathroom, you walk the dog, if you have kids, you're changing diapers, or while your wife watches the kids while you take one of them to the bathroom, and then you flip flop. It's a 30-minute stop. And in those cases, you charge a lot deeper, and now you're able to push past that second charge stop, or that whatever that next stop was, and you've actually saved yourself a little bit of time in the process.
Yeah, and I think Rivian will come out, like, they won't give us any real charging specs, not Kyle Connor style or anything like that. They're just going to say you can charge up to 80% in 30 minutes or something like that. There'll be some number, and then if they want to market around that, they could just do, like, to your point, like, show people get out of the car and walk their dog and go to the bathroom and get a snack, whatever, come back and it's done.
Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely put the Rivian spin on it. Go for a walk at the park while you're charging, or go for a hike, or go birding, or take pictures of butterflies. Like, Rivian will do their best to sell the adventure part of it.
Yeah, even though most people will never adventure.
Correct. But hey, and that's why Rivian put Rands at outlet malls, because everybody's definition of adventure is different. As much as I hate Rands at outlet malls.
So what's next for R2? I'm gonna go with they just showed us the wrapped vehicles, and I think they said we'll see them on the streets soon or something like that. So I'd imagine, especially in California, and lucky people out there get to see the wrapped ones probably. Who knows? Maybe they're gonna take them out and about, and we'll see wrapped R2s, not just in California, but around Irvine. I would definitely be eyes peeled for those validation builds.
Yeah.
So when do you guys think the first regular non-Rivian employee customer deliveries will happen? Let's lay it out there.
Are we doing this for real?
Yeah.
We taking
Let's
bets?
take a shot.
Take bets?
February of 26.
What do you think, Chris?
Well, the public answer is first half of 26, and so dead center is end of March, early April. So that's now, if the first half of 26 is like, I'm just trying to explain my answer or get to an answer, is the first half of 26, middle of that is March, April. If that's employees, then I would mention after that. So I would say employees, March, April. Real people, maybe May, June. Still first half, so they could say, hey, we give it to real people. I know they said last time there's a customer deliveries and they were employees, but so I'm gonna go with May, June is when real people get them. Employees will get them in March, April.
As a 26 or as a 27 model
That
year?
is a really good question.
Because that late in the year, and it's a 27.
Yeah.
I mean,
It'll still be a 26.
You think?
26, yeah, I'd say 26, and then they did the cutover for Gen 2 in June 6th of 24. So they could do another summer cutover, which would be really really annoying, right? Like there'd be 3 months of potentially 3 or 4 months of an R2 in 26. It's a weird time to launch.
Which some people may like, because there's going to be way less 2026 year models, right? So it'd be like, hey, I had one of a very limited number of 2026 R2s. So anyway, my guess is real customers in April, and I think that employees may have them as early as December of this year or January of next.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to disagree on that. about the employee piece of it, because as we mentioned before, the R2 that's in New York right now is repainted. So that kind of indicates to me that they are really on crunch time. If you only have one show car and you're repainting it, that first half of 26 has got to be where they are really confident they're going to get it first half of 26. I don't see any chance it comes to 25. Zero.
Oh no, it's way more than zero. And we've already seen body parts for it, right? I mean, they're making parts with production machinery already. And it's not going to be, I mean, once, and granted, I have no idea whether the entire supply chain is sorted, because that could actually be the biggest delay, right? But stamping things and putting the pieces together, that's not going to take them a massive amount of time. Now, if they're working on larger procurement contracts for certain pieces, parts, components, and having to commit to certain volumes, and then you've got the lead times on getting all that stuff from third parties, that's what could slow things down. But it is, yeah, I think that it's very possible that they're rolling them off the line this year in very limited quantities, but still.
So they just did the ones we saw that are wrapped are design validation builds. Those are the ones where this is the first time they've actually been able to take parts and put them together and go, okay, that fits, or oh, that does not fit in reality. On the computer screen, it looks like it fits, but in reality, it is not. It is not going together. And so this is our first time seeing that. And so typically they do multiple iterations of design validation builds, I believe, until they get it right. And that's when they're okay. Now everything we've done to this point is locked in terms of this is the final design, and then they proceed to start setting the stuff up, I believe, right, in terms of like the factory and getting everything ready to go. But I just don't see the factory isn't even finished yet, right? Like I don't see how you get the factory finished, everything, all the automation put in place for it. The factory doesn't exist yet, and all of that by the end of the year. It's just I think they're threading the needle to hit the first half of 26, and if anything goes sideways, right? Let's say they have protesters like they did in Georgia or whatever come up and say, hey, you can't do that or whatever, and delays happen. I think they could even slip past first half of 26. I think that's why they didn't say Q1 or Q2, is because they want to give themselves a little wiggle room in case things do go sideways in one particular piece of it.
My guess is they're actually shooting for Q1, but they wanted to give themselves a little padding, a little wiggle room. So once again, I mean, they won't be in a position to mass produce, but they'll be in a position to produce by the end of this year.
I think they could hand build by the end of this year. Like they would not use the line, but I think the line it'll be like photo finish in terms of getting that line ready to go by end of the year.
Not the final production line, but I guarantee they have a test line. Does that make sense? So not full blown thing, not with all the automation, not with all the capacity, but I guarantee they've got a test line up already, or very close.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question in people's minds will be, assuming they're going to do first half of 26 for deliveries. When can I configure this thing? When will I find pricing for this thing? And what do you guys think on that?
Q4.
Yeah, I was gonna configurator for our R1s went live November 16th, I think it was, of 21.
Oh my goodness. Jimmy, your memory is too good, man.
I want to say it was November 16th.
Too good.
If I think it needs to be early enough that people can make changes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 on their configurations before it's too late.
So I
go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna go with November. I'm gonna go with November again on that one. Like, it gives people the chance to see more of it, potentially experience the vehicle in person, whether it's at one of the expos or at a space near them, and then make the appropriate changes when the time comes, if they feel so inclined.
So I will say this. Hopefully they are getting very, very close to a point where they know what the options will be. And as soon as they're at that point, they need to get that configurator out as soon as possible. And hopefully that won't be too difficult for them, because it's basically building on the configurator that they've got for R1, right? So it's replacing images, replacing options. It's not a massive effort. But they need to get that out as soon as possible, because they can collect a lot of valuable data, and that gets people to that next step in the buying process, right? Getting excited about a specific configuration and the associated price, and working themselves through the buying process, if that makes sense. Yeah, they need to do that as soon as possible, and I think that they should have that done August or September timeframe this year. That's when I'd want to have it out.
And
no question.
And let me back up. I think I said November 16th of 21. It was actually I want to say it was November 16th of 20, because we were all sitting on configurations for quite a while before we took delivery.
I changed mine like 10 times.
Oh yeah, at least 5. Yeah, at least 5. But what do you think, Chris?
I like to work backwards, so I'm going to base mine based on the March, April deliveries. I'm going to go probably 2 or 3 months before that. I think they're going to be rushing to figure out pricing, and I think they'll be rushing to figure out options. You guys are giving way too much credit having their stuff together. I think it's going to be. I'm gonna go with 2 months. I would go with December, January, 3 months, 2-3 months beforehand. December, January of this year and into next year for configurator. And then I think what they'll do is what they do now. Just give us enough to think about, and without giving us anything. They'll say, okay, we're gonna have at launch, we're gonna have these 3 trims, and they'll be starting at 50,000 or 55,000, 65,000, 75,000, whatever the number is, and they'll say starting at, and you won't know anything other than it's got the large battery up to this mile, or it's got dual motor. They're all be dual motor large, or dual motor max, or whatever. Let's see what, maybe they offer 2 battery options at launch, or maybe they just do 1. I don't know. But they'll say, okay, this is the one with the all-terrain package, and it's starting at $65,000 or whatever. I think that's what they'll do. That way, they don't have to give us the configurator. They can say, hey, we put some information out there. The buyers can start figuring out, hey, I want the lowest model, or I want the highest model, or whatever it is, and then going up to that, they'll kind of divulge more details on pricing on each of those individual trims, and what all is causing the price increase or price differences or something. And maybe they'll start doing paint options exclusive to different trim levels too, right? So like how they do with Ascend interior versus Adventure interior, and say, okay, Adventure interior, you only get these 2 interior options. Ascend, you get these 3 or 4. This is a price difference, and maybe they'll do that kind of stuff. The premium audio, right? We'll say, okay, the bottom trim doesn't have the premium audio, the top one does, and they don't tell you what the price difference is for the premium audio. Maybe eventually they do. I don't know. I think that's how they'll do it. They'll just give you just, like I said, we could talk about maybe the premium audio is $1,500. Like, we could just think about it for days and not know the answer, but they'll give us just enough to wonder and be interested.
But I think
ahead.
But I think to Skylar's point, like if they did bring it out early enough, in like Rivian did with the R1, um, like they had enough amplifying data to realize kill Explore package, like just get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so maybe if they do come out with it earlier rather than 3 months early or 5 or 6 months early in my case, they can see that there's going to be no takers on a rear wheel, a single motor rear wheel drive or single motor front wheel drive, or no one really wants Chick-fil-A sauce on an R2, so we're not going to actually have Compass Yellow on this vehicle after all.
Do you remember they sent that survey out? Do you remember that? Like that gave all the options and stuff. Do you remember that one? Did you get that, Skylar? I got one. I know a lot of people.
I don't think so.
I don't think I got that one either.
It was like here's if this was the price and this is the miles, this is the range. Would you buy? Which of these would you buy? And it had all the different options. So they've sampled that information. I think they know in general what the demand will be for each trim package or each level. And so I don't know if they need to do that. I don't know.
Old habits die hard, man.
And they also at the same time, the R1 launch was a shit show. Sorry for going PG-13, but it was, and they don't want to repeat it. They don't want to repeat it, and so they'll wait to the last minute on everything and just give us enough. That's my thought is they're not trying to repeat R1. They're going to go no information, just enough information, and give themselves wiggle room to change prices and change packages right up until they can't do it anymore.
I mean, I see your point, but they're gonna have a hard time not. I think they're gonna have a hard time not doing it that way.
I mean, to Sky's point, there could be a point where they have to, but
right.
And you know what? I mean, they should have a handle on what the cost basis is for whatever they have in mind right now, and they should know where they want to price it already. That should already be done. So do they really need wiggle room? I mean, they need to price it starting at 45 grand, and they have experience with R1, which is a little bit different market segment, so there may be more price sensitivity, but man, they've got to know this stuff already. And get the configurator out. Let people configure what they want. Let people save multiple configurations, right? Kind of like Slate does. I mean, you can save multiple options, but that will tell you a ton about what people are interested in and what their sensitivities are. And doing a small sample size survey is way different than getting real data from your prospective buyers.
They could also do what I think it's Aptera did, and that is define a launch vehicle. And by that, I mean, like, okay, Aptera says, okay, we're going to go with this battery option, this interior, and this exterior are the launch vehicle. If you choose anything that deviates from that, price goes up, or, well, I guess down if you downgrade it. But and your lead time goes way out, right? Potentially 6 months, a year out. And so they could just say, hey, here are the 5 packages, or I would just do like 2 or 3. Three packages.
They should.
3 packages, and in these 3 packages, we're going to offer 2 paint colors or 3 paint colors, or let's just go with Tesla 5 or 6 paint colors. But here are the 20 colors we have. These will be available at a future date. But if you want your vehicle this month or the next 6 months, here's what the options are, and then they can restrict how many options there are, and also control everything from buying things in bulk and pricing, all that stuff.
Yep.
Then the configurator
No,
configurator is not really necessary too much if you have that. If you have like a launch vehicle, paint color, interior, tires.
I would agree, but interior is something that has lead time though, right? So I want to know. I need to order the right quantities of the right interiors for those. I mean, that's one of those things where you do want the data. So anyway, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm super interested to see hopefully how much better they handle this than the R1 launch and how they're maturing as a company. Rivian has disappointed me with the ways that they have done things time and time again. Seems like they haven't done things the smart way. I'm holding out hope that they do things the smart way with the R2 launch.
I feel like this customer segment is going to be not as forgiving as the early adopter R1 customer segment was.
Way more fickle, no question.
When it comes to stuff like that, yeah.
And so that means that they have to do that much better of a job on this round.
I'd also say like they're going to be much more price sensitive in terms of like that's $1,000, and Rivian's going to play it really cool in terms of like right now. Look at what like a paint upgrade costs on the R1. It's some of them are ridiculous, right? Like $3,000 for paint. It's paint. So you can't charge $3,000 for paint. Like that silver. What do you think I could charge that silver? 1,500, 2,000 probably.
No way. They like you said, they can't do that. They shouldn't be doing that on R1. I mean, they need margin on R1. But yeah, the R2 market segment will not go for that.
No, they'll chew them
and
up. And
hopefully they know it.
Yeah, I mean, to the point you were making, Chris, with the CRV folks and the RAV4 folks, like get on that configurator and look to see what Toyota and Honda charge for paint. And I haven't been on their configurators in years, but I guarantee they might have one fancy paint and it might be $350 or $500 at absolute most.
Yeah.
If it's super fancy. And nothing against Honda or Toyota paint, but I can't think of like a fancy CRV or RAV4 paint that would even be considered an upgrade.
So just so you know, they only have one extra charge for a RAV4.
Oh, nice.
I had to look it up.
Yeah.
They only have one color that is extra charge, and it's $425.
Yeah, I remember when we built we ordered Nikki's 2013 Ford Fusion Platinum or Titanium from the local Ford dealership back in 2013, and I want to say her paint color was like $250 for the tri-coat metallic black or whatever they called it. Like they got to get reasonable with their pricing.
So far, they've been very unreasonable, though.
Correct.
I have zero trust in them doing the right thing here. I'm going to go with $1,500 for premium audio. I'm going to go with $1,500 on average for paint, $1,500 on average for wheels. It's going to be. I think they're going to get you on everything and every chance they can.
Yeah. Honda, only 2 upcharge paint colors, $455.
Yeah. The other thing that I think will go far would be showcasing. I want to say that RJ just posted about this today about service centers and having 100 service centers by the end of the year. But they got to pump those numbers up, man. Those are rookie numbers. Like that's gonna be a bigger problem than paying $60,000 for a vehicle that's smaller than a RAV4. Is where am I going to service this vehicle?
Yep.
All right, guys. Let's play the Price is Right for Jeep Grand Cherokee paint colors. How much?
$1, Bob.
$350.
$1.
$595. So that is a similar SUV, similar market segment, right? And outdoor-ish brand, right? I'd be willing to bet if Rivian's smart, their paint upcharges will be no more than $595.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the same thing I said about my I'm not gonna name any names, a relative of mine. You're trying to apply logic to somebody that's so far been illogical.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? At some point, they'll start using logic or they will continue making mistakes, bad decisions. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to, right? And yeah. I cannot wait to see. I hope they get it right. I don't have confidence they will. I have hope.
Let's make one more prediction, and this is where we'll get really wild with our answers, because I'm on the pessimistic side. You guys are probably on the optimistic side. What do you think the average price will be of the launch edition? Like, what do you think? Let's go with the dual motor, all-wheel drive, obviously, and then whatever the large pack is, or I guess they're going to have a max pack versus a LFP. Let's just go with the largest battery they have, dual motor, some paint, wheels, and premium audio. What do you think that is going to run you?
67.5.
Ooh.
Okay.
I was gonna say 62.5.
I was gonna go 69.9. 69.420 is what I should have done for Elon Musk fans.
No, Elon.
69.9. 69.9 is what I'm gonna go for the average price of R2.
Dang.
And everyone's gonna go, why wouldn't I just get an R1T, a standard pack R1T? And we're gonna say, exactly. That is the right decision.
Man.
If the vehicle comes in at 70,
yeah,
might as well get the R1T. Get a cheap R1T standard pack. Even if the range is off, you charge the R1T to 100%.
I don't think dual motor without something really fancy. I don't think it can be that far north of 60.
I think they'll start them around like what everyone thinks, right? 55, 60, somewhere in there will be the starting for a dual motor all-wheel drive. But then I go back to my $1,500 for everything. Everything's $1,500 for Rivian, I think, on R2. I think you're looking at $1,500 for wheels, $1,500 interior, $1,500 paint, $1,500 premium audio. And that's just the base things you want. That's $6,000 already. So now we're at 66, close to Jimmy's number. And now anything else that any other options they throw at you on there, like maybe the rear window pop out is another $1,500. I don't know. There could be all sorts of different things that they pepper on there. Heck, what if they make what if they make enhanced autopilot, enhanced highway assist, a software package you buy at purchase in 2026? That sounds like something they're trying to do anyway. What if that's $5,000? Now we're over 70, right? We just added 6,000 on for options, and then from 60, and then you add another 5 for software. You're at 71. Like, look at they're going to find ways to take that, right? It's all about the average selling price. How to get the average selling price as high as possible. so that their margins are padded.
They need to do a better job with software options. And self-driving is a phenomenal example of that, because software margins in anything are great, right? I mean, you do have a lot of cost up front to build it, but once you've built it, you sell it many times, right? So software's a great business, and they need to figure out how to leverage that, not only for full self-driving, but in other ways.
Right. If they're still on eyes off, though, right? Eyes off, enhanced autopilot, or geez, I can't even say it right. Enhanced highway assist. I mean, they're gonna be able to charge several $1,000s for that, and
I agree.
So
I would not include that in a run-of-the-mill starting price, though.
They did with Cybertruck, right? Cybertruck came with full self-driving. That was a launch edition. Why doesn't Rivian do something like that? Didn't the launch edition Model Y have full self-driving as well? The new one?
I believe it did.
I don't know.
The new Juniper, yeah.
Yeah. So what if they do that with launch edition R2 and they say,
those are ugly, man.
We didn't say they weren't. We just said what they came with.
Yeah. So I'm just saying those two, both the most recent two rebrand or relaunches of Tesla products has come with included self-driving packages with the launch editions. And so I'm confident now. The more I talk about it, the more I'm confident. They're going to bundle that enhanced highway assist at that time with the launch editions. I bet you money they will do that. And they'll probably put a value on it. So let's say it's a value of, I said 5,000. Let's say it's $3,000 or $4,000. Add that onto the bottom line. Let's go back to the original number, $60,000. Now you're at 64 or 63,000 plus your options, another 6 in options, 70. I'm back at 70, 69.9. Final answer. No,
and that's with enhanced highway assist.
Yes. Lifetime.
You're including that.
Yes. Lifetime purchase, or it's included. And maybe they throw in a bottle opener like they did with the Cybertruck. Who knows? They'll still throw in some other crap too, And I think the launch editions will, just like the launch edition Model Y, will be extremely high in comparison to what you'll be able to get 6 months when they get away from the launch editions.
No, I could see that.
We managed to live stream style ramble for now
45 minutes.
I mean, for something that's going up on YouTube as a recording, which we typically try to keep to like 20 minutes, but we're pushing 50 now, guys. Goodness gracious. But hey, actually, I feel like the conversation got better as we continued talking about things. And anyway, so anything else? I mean, are we gonna try to hit an hour on this bad boy, or what are you guys thinking?
I'm content. I think I'm content.
We hit all the major R2 things, the news, we hit the price point, when we think they're coming out, configurator, all that stuff. So those are all good discussions and topics, and so I don't think we went too far off the beaten path. We didn't ask Skylar if he's wearing pants today.
Would you like to see?
I'm definitely wearing shorts today. Even though I was wearing shorts last time.
All right. Since we're doing this kind of live stream style, I'm going to go completely random. And to close it out. So, guys, are all jean shorts jorts? Or are jorts a specific type of jean short? Sorry, this was dinner table discussion tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
All jean shorts are jorts.
Yes.
See, that's what I said. But my daughter was like, "Oh no, it's only the cutoff jeans that are like long, well, when men wear them." Like longer. I'm like, no. J is for jean, Ort is for shorts. Like jorts are jean shorts. Period.
100%. Yeah.
That's my answer. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Hey,
Wow.
maybe they should come out with a denim colored R2. Let's do it.
It's in their wheelhouse with the blue. They need a blue.
That would be amazing.
They do.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it though?
Yeah. And then call it it'd be the Canadian tuxedo, dude. That would
Hey, there you go. It hits like their place names or geographic ties. Yes.
Heck
Canadian
yeah, dude.
tuxedo.
It'd be the
Let's do
Canadian
it.
tuxedo.
But they do it backwards though, right? So it'd be tuxedo Canadian or something
Tuxedo
like
Canadian, correct.
that. Canyon red.
Yeah.
It'll be
I made a matter there.
it'll
You're
be
good, dude.
option A.
Yeah. Eh?
Option
Yeah.
A. Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. I think that's a good note to end on.
Yeah. This was fun. I'm glad we did this.
I had fun. I do feel like we probably ought to try to keep recordings down a little bit, but for anybody still here, if you're still here, then you ought to join our live streams when we do them, because they're a lot of fun and a lot more random and more like the second half of this conversation, I would say.
Yeah. But the second
Second half, not the last 2 minutes, although there's a lot of that too. But anyway.
All right. Till next time.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good night.
See y'all.